Welcome to Gaming Potential Podcast. Sage here. I'm joined with Tsukiyomi, and there have been some pretty recent happenings. The most recent was the spec reveal of the Xbox Scorpio, touted as the most powerful console ever. Not just the most powerful console yet, most powerful console ever. So this is it. We're never getting anything more powerful than this. But
wait, did they legit say that?
Yeah, that's their
slogan ever. Okay.
But I mean, this does look pretty cool. At first, I was thinking it was kind of silly to make a powerful console, not to get all like PC Master Race. But I'm not gonna get into like the real tech stuff because like neither of us are tech experts. They are saying it's 6 teraflops. The most powerful console before that was the PS4 Pro at 4.2 teraflops. And more practical applications of Xbox Scorpio are 4K gaming, 4K Blu-ray, as well as boosting Xbox One games and Xbox 360 games, which is really cool to me.
Yeah, I mean, that's going to be convenient for everyone, really. Like, even if, I know some people that they buy a system or whatever just a game, and, like, the wife uses it as just, like, a console or whatever. So the 4K Blu-ray, and probably, I imagine, like, 4K streaming or whatever, on your typical Hulu and Netflix apps or what have you or whatever, is going to be convenient, too.
Yeah. I just hope it's not too expensive. Well, one, I want a Blu-ray player. Like, I don't have, like, a 4K Blu-ray player. Mm-hmm. And I think if you're going to get one, you may as well get a Scorpio, depending on the price, because a 4K Blu-ray player can be a couple $100 already. So you may as well get a box that can do that, as well as game and whatnot.
I'm gonna be honest here. I'm betting that this thing starts at $600.
Yeah, that wouldn't really surprise me. I'm
not gonna say it's not worth it. I will say that's a lot of money, sure. But I guarantee you're going to get your money's worth.
Yeah, well, I guess the game lineup will determine that.
Well, yeah, because at this point, you don't need your Xbox and you don't need your old Xbox One. So you could sell both those and get...
that is true, but I do
Scorpio.
use my 360 for original Xbox games still.
Oh, for the Xbox games.
I still have an original Xbox One, and I don't think that'll sell very well.
Go back to playing on that.
But
because does Scorpio play Xbox games or is it just 360?
I don't know. They didn't say it plays Xbox games. I don't think the Xbox One plays Xbox games.
Interesting. I guess that would be a reason to hold on to it then.
So I think there will be enhanced Scorpio games, kind of the same way we see PS4 Pro enhanced games. Mm-hmm. I don't know, like, it's hard to tell if this is... I guess it's a new iteration of Xbox One in that sense. It's not like a brand new console, even though the specs look like a brand new console. So they're kind of blurring the lines here, like, with these new console generations. It's getting kind of silly.
This thing is powerful enough to not call it the Xbox One, and quite frankly, it should be separated from the Xbox One. I don't think they should have named it the Xbox One, Scorpio or whatever? Like, Project Scorpio, they should just call it the Xbox Scorpio or something, or maybe call it the Xbox S.
I don't know if that's the final name. I think that might just be a working title, but I don't know yet.
But yeah, it's just like this, and with the PS4 Pro, it's like they're not upgrading consoles or they're not creating new consoles. They're just upgrading what they already have.
Well, I'm sure we'll see. Well, actually, I don't even know, but we'll save that for the future. So the Xbox One, the Xbox Scorpio, Xbox Scorpio games should be running 4K at 60 frames per second. And then they'll play Xbox One games, and I guess they'll boost Xbox One games on top of that, kind of similar to PS4 Pro's boost mode. So if there aren't like already enhanced games, it'll make them run better, I guess, in various ways, better frame rate, resolution.
Yeah.
Supposedly it'll bring Xbox One games to 4K resolution.
What? Is that even possible?
I mean, apparently.
Oh wait, Xbox One. Okay, I was thinking 360. Okay, yeah, that makes sense.
And it'll also do the same for Xbox 360 games, which is kind of a selling point for me, because I'm a really big fan of Xbox 360, Xbox 360 games, and I was wanting to go back to some recently, and if I get a Scorpio, maybe I'll just play on that. If they upgrade it to 4K and whatnot, that'd be cool.
Would 360 games even be capable of working in 4K?
I mean, that's what they're saying. They're saying it'll boost Xbox 360 games.
Yeah, I was gonna say, I feel like it won't be playable in 4K. Like, maybe it'll look better, but there's no way it's gonna get up to 4K. That sounds impossible.
Well, I mean, it'll be easier to make Xbox 360 games 4K than it will be Xbox One games, considering they don't have they have like a lower graphical fidelity.
No.
So I could definitely see like all Xbox 360 games going up to 4K, while I think some Xbox One games will go up to 1080p. If an Xbox One game is already running at 720p natively, they might only get boosted to 1080p just because I guess they just have a higher graphical fidelity that they had to have that lower resolution to run properly.
You see, I feel like the closer, since Xbox One was like the step before 4K, I feel like it'll be closer and easier for that to run at 4K than to take something super old and try to force it into 4K. If that makes sense. Like, I don't see something super old being 4K.
It probably won't be that hard though. I mean, you can like emulate Wii games and make those 1080p.
Very off topic, but that does remind me of that one Wii U emulator. It's like CEMU or whatever, and it forced Breath of the Wild to run at 4K.
Oh yeah, I saw that. Well, we'll have to see more because they really didn't reveal that much, other than like these concepts.
It's
and the spec sheet. Go look at the spec sheet if you want. Maybe someone out there can make better sense of it than we can.
Yeah, most likely. Like, again, we're your average we are your average consumer that is looking at this without,
I mean, as far as like tech stuff goes, like I know what to look for building a PC, but beyond that, I couldn't tell you much.
I will say that, I really thought this was going to be the time for PCs to take over and stuff, and this was going to be the era of PC. But I guess Microsoft was kind of like, no, we're not out of the game yet, and they're trying to compete
with themselves.
Scale.
Compete with Microsoft Windows.
Yeah, basically, they're trying to prove a point that consoles can go toe to toe with PCs, or at least fight on their level.
I think in an interview with Digital Foundry, they were saying the Scorpio is along the lines of $1,000 PC.
Cool. I'm curious if it'll sell for cheaper then.
I was getting to the point where it's like, okay, let's just have Nintendo and PC. Let's just stop all the exclusives for consoles. Just put everything on PC, so I don't have to like buy all these platforms.
Yeah, that's what I was saying. And PCs were more powerful, so it's like it's better to just go PC because they have more power and they could play pretty much anything. But I guess Microsoft is trying to start this consoles are revival or something. I don't even know.
Yeah, we'll have to see the price before that's really determined.
How much power output versus how much you're paying.
Yeah, if that comes out to like $400, it's not bad.
Yeah, that'd be reasonable compared to like how you said it's $1,000 computer.
Because I would actually like it like for a 4K Blu-ray box that can play my games. And along the lines of like this blurring the lines, like with these console iterations, that's kind of like the direction Windows is going, it seems. because with the broadband internet, we have Windows is probably going to turn into a platform on its own that just gets updated. I think somewhat recently, like Windows 10 had like a pretty big update that well, most people probably wouldn't see it as that big since your everyday use doesn't really change, but it did knock out a lot of my programs that I use.
So, if anything, it just made things worse for you.
Yeah, like my trackpad doesn't work. Like the gestures don't work anymore. I don't know what was up with that.
But yeah, I see what you're saying. Like, operating systems are no longer, or like, I guess just Windows is no longer creating new operating systems. They're just improving on what they have.
Yeah, and it seems like consoles are getting to the point where we're just running one platform per, I guess, company, and we're just gonna keep upgrading it. Just keep upgrading the hardware. Except you gotta buy a whole new box every time.
Well, yeah, because the PS4 came out, and then there's like a PS4 Slim or whatever, and then a PS4 Pro. So it's like they're not making new consoles anymore, they're just upgrading what they already have. And it's the same thing with there's an Xbox, and wasn't there like an Xbox S or something?
Oh, the Xbox One S.
One S, and now we have the Scorpio. So
yeah, I think the Xbox One S included 4K to some extent.
I mean, 4K is not brand new, but it's barely becoming. It's becoming
mainstream.
Yeah, mainstream. More and more people are starting to get into 4K, so now it's starting to become easily accessible. Whereas a couple of years ago, you're like, "What 4K?"
Yeah, there was a period when like a big 4K TV kind of sale. So, like more and more people are getting 4K into their homes.
Yeah.
Like if you're going to buy a new TV today, it's probably going to be 4K.
Mm-hmm.
Are we off topic again?
Maybe.
Well, we'll have to wait for more information on the Scorpio. I'm on the fence. I'm kind of looking forward to it. But, yeah, we'll wait.
Yeah, I mean, it looks interesting. It looks promising. It looks like, with the exception being Nintendo, because Nintendo just does its own thing, it looks like consoles aren't out of the race just yet.
Yeah.
And mind you, I was on the PC bandwagon. So.
Yeah, I kind of still am, but we'll see. So, something else that's happening, was it a Splatoon 2 tournament or Splatoon tournament?
Splatoon 1, yeah. It's pretty big news. So Nintendo's not the official sponsor, which was kind of weird at first. It's this thing called Battlefy.net, and I guess it's kind of like Challenge, if you're familiar with that. But Battlefy is hosting this thing, and it's a pretty cool event. Preliminaries are April 22nd, and basically it's a U.S. Open invitation, so you have to be 18 plus or older, and you have to be from the U.S. And Battlefy is sponsoring, where the winners of this tournament win a free Switch, free Splatoon 2 game, and they get tickets to E3, which is pretty cool. And Nintendo is like not sponsoring it or paying for it in any way, but they are endorsing it, and they threw their name behind it, which is actually really cool. This could have possible future implications for Nintendo-backed, Major League Gaming scene in the future, whatever, because the competitive scene has been growing on its own in the past, and now Nintendo might possibly and hopefully throws their weight behind this. So it'll be interesting to see what comes of this.
Yeah, it is interesting to see Nintendo getting into the more competitive community, especially with Splatoon. They used to be somewhat like, I don't know, anti-competitive.
The Splatoon community or Nintendo?
Nintendo.
Oh,
because I remember Sakurai, like he definitely he had something against Smash Bros, like being like a competitive platform for like tournaments and stuff. But they seem to be a little more open to it, and I would hope so, because I would like to get more into like Smash Bros. Competitive scene.
Yeah. Yeah, I think their main reason before was the competitive scene takes the game to a different level than the way Nintendo created it for you to play it, so to speak, or whatever. Because, like, if you look at Pokemon, how the competitive community has evolved, from the crazy IV breeding to, EV training and breeding for shinies and natures and all that kind of stuff, and figuring out moves and builds and stuff like that, it's really taken the game to a whole different level than your average player plays it. And I guess one of the things they didn't like was that the competitive scene tends to take the casual fun out of the game versus, the competitive fun aspect. And I guess some creators just don't like that.
Yeah, I think you can have both.
Scene happens. Yeah, you can have both, but I guess the people at Nintendo envision their games to be played a certain way, and once that,
Yeah, Nintendo definitely has they have this vision of the way people should be playing games.
Their games, yeah.
Yeah, it's like, well, we want to play the games we want, or we want to play games the way we want to play.
Yeah. And you can tell in the games how Nintendo will kind of force you into specific choices to some extent, and it's understandable. I guess, they create something and they're like, hey, I want you to experience it like this.
Yeah, I guess at the very least it shows that they're passionate about their work.
Yeah. You could argue a little bit too passionate, but, it's all good. At the end of the day, the player themselves will play it how they want to play it. And that's what evolved to this competitive scene for all these Nintendo games, which is actually pretty cool.
Yeah. So, if you want to go show off your Splatoon skills, the first place prize is, I think you've already said this, a trip to E3, you get a Nintendo Switch, you get a free copy of Splatoon 2, a Splatoon hat, and a Jack's Pacific Splatoon Inkling Boy collectible figure. And places 2 through 4 will get only some of those things, and there will also be a random drawing for one team of non-finalists.
To win a Switch or something?
Oh, they get a Splatoon 2 game.
Oh, okay.
At release timing.
Yeah. First place prize, I gotta admit, is pretty nice, especially for a non-Nintendo sponsored event. Battle 5 must have some serious money to put this together, so that's actually pretty cool. But I'm hoping Reggie, with his fat head, looks this way, and he's kind of like, whoa, I should kind of get into this as the president of Nintendo of America. Maybe I should look into this competitive scene more and see what we can do as Nintendo to help. But yeah, this is going to be an exciting tournament. It's definitely not going to be rigged. It's kind of weird that they're only limiting you to 5 players.
It's also kind of weird to me that the teams, the teams are random. You can't go in with your own team, which I thought was kind of lame at first. It's like, well, if you built a team, you'd want to play with them. But I also guess it also gives players a chance who don't already have their own team.
Oh yeah, well, it's not that they don't. It's not that the teams are random. What happened is that the 2 restrictions, being from the U.S. only and being 18 plus, knocked out a lot of big S division teams in the game already. I can tell you, the top team that everyone would expect to win this tournament can literally only have 1 player playing it because of the 18 plus and from the US only factor. The Splatoon community, it started on 4chan, and then it started its own website with Squid boards, and then they moved to Skype, and now it's on Discord. And literally, you have teams made up of people from the US, from Australia, from Japan, from Europe, or whatever. So all these different countries and all these different ages, from 12 to 35. I think the oldest person I've seen was a 42-year-old. So you have all these different ages and people from different countries and stuff that form their own teams based on their own skill level. So you have all these S and A division teams or whatever that have been broken up to two or from 1 to 3 people at the most because of the age restriction, which is, you're kind of like, oh my gosh, I can't play with my team. We would win this tournament easily. But at the same time, this makes room for like the newbies or the people who are like, I don't know, Z division teams. They actually have a legitimate shot because you're not going up against, the best team in the game who has all their S division players and stuff and who was expected to win without even trying. But so I wouldn't say it balances it out because at the end of the day, the people that know each other are going to probably work together and stuff, but you have a better shot overall. So your average player could probably step in and, I don't know, stand, hold his own. But yeah, the 18 plus rule in the US only definitely knocked out a lot of teams and broke up many teams and forced people to form like new hybrid teams or whatever. So it'll be interesting to see how this plays out. I know there's actually one team I know that's completely, signed up for the tournament, and it's like this. I don't remember what division they are. I don't know if they're A. I don't think they're S. Might be like A or B. There's a team called Got Kraken, which has completely signed up all their members because I guess they have more than 5, 18-year-olds or whatever from the U.S. And then there's good teams or whatever that just joined forces with other teams that were the rivals and stuff just for the tournament. So a lot of the big names, like there's Hikari, Memento, there's Got Kraken, and there's Deadbeats. I want to say Deep Blues is competing, and some other teams or whatever that have at least enough of their own members to still have an advantage to where they have about 3 or 4. And I have to admit, the 5 players only rule was kind of interesting to me, just because you probably need more backup players in actuality, but I guess they can't pay for that many tickets to E3, so maybe that's what caused that rule.
Okay, wow. It was a little bit long-winded. I think a lot of that went over my head, but it sounds like they've got it all planned out.
Yeah, they definitely planned things.
So when does Splatoon 2 release?
There is no official release date yet, actually.
Yeah.
But it just said sometime in summer.
Okay, and that comes out for the Switch. And speaking of the Switch, this thing is still out of stock, like in so many places.
It's ridiculous.
I haven't been able to pick one up. I wanted to pick one up early, but like I haven't had the chance to actually get my hands on one.
That's the whole reason I'm entering this tournament, is just to win a Switch. Honestly. That's the only thing I want is a Switch.
I think I've heard that they're getting stock soon, so
I would hope so.
We'll
I don't understand what they're handling the Switch like they handled Amiibo. Like they underproduced everything, and then the pre-orders was just completely screwed up. Pre-orders are canceled. There was not enough pre-orders, and yeah, I don't understand why they're not making enough Switches. Is it they think they're not making enough money off them, or what? Because I'm pretty sure it sold more than the Wii U already, hasn't it? Or close to, maybe?
It's sold a lot. I mean, it's out of stock. And I think maybe after the Wii U, they're being a little more cautious.
Mm-hmm.
They probably don't want to oversell or overproduce, rather. And it's funny, they did that Super Bowl campaign. They did that ad at the Super Bowl, which was kind of pointless because
they're still not in stock.
They were out of stock before the thing even released. Like they ran out of stock on pre-orders, and so like to the people that ad, is targeted towards is people who probably don't follow gaming news already. So they're like, okay, when's the Switch gonna come out? I'll go get one when it comes out, and by the time it's out, they can't get one, and they're probably gonna forget about the Switch by the time there is stock.
Yeah, because if you think about that, ad was targeted to your casual Nintendo fans who probably don't game very often or aren't looking out for this thing. Like, those people probably didn't even know what the Switch was until they saw it.
Yeah. So, I mean, if anything, I guess it's in people's heads, maybe, if they haven't already forgotten about it. But overall, that Super Bowl campaign seemed a little pointless.
Quite frankly, it pissed me off because I couldn't get one before and I couldn't get one now just because they're out of stock. And it's like, why would you tease
I
me
couldn't
with it?
even pre-order. I tried pre-ordering like as soon as it went up on Amazon, and nope, it just was out of stock completely. Anytime anything went up, it was down immediately. Just couldn't get my hands on one.
Yeah.
And I'm gonna plan on doing a video on a Switch eventually, but it may be a month or two late.
Yeah, it's like I know people that were like, "Oh, the Switch is in stock at Target. Go online, add it to the cart. By the time you're checking it out, it's already out of stock, and you can't purchase it anymore."
Yeah. So this is the Wii all over again. Nobody can get a Switch that doesn't already have one.
This is like Amiibos, quite frankly.
Yeah, maybe they do it on purpose.
I would hope not, because that's pretty messed up. But yeah, hopefully I can get a Switch soon. Hopefully it's in stock. Hopefully everything's good. Hopefully Reggie opens up his eyes and sees his folly and does everything right.
You just really don't like Reggie.
His head is so fat. He needs to start doing his job and stop being a figure. Like, he needs to be more than just a public figure. He needs to actually do his job and fight for this stuff.
So what are you hoping to see happen with the Switch in the future?
You know, I know everybody is like third party support, you know. I want to see games that I can get on the Xbone and the PS4 on the Switch, but honestly, I just want to see more Nintendo IPs. Like, this is a brand new system with a brand new concept, ushering in a whole different generation of gaming. I want to see, obviously I want to see Mario, obviously I want to see Kirby, I want to see, you know, just like your basic Nintendo games that always come out on every single console, you know, your Star Fox and everything else. But I want to see return of old classics. Like, I'm hoping for, first of all, I'm hoping for a good Mario Party this season. Like,
a new Mario Party, and hopefully without the car.
Yeah,
I don't know if anybody actually likes the car mechanic.
Maybe Reggie, but yeah, take Mario Party back to the way it used to be. I definitely want to see return of the old sports game, like Mario Sluggers, Mario Strikers. Go ahead and throw in a Mario Golf. I don't play it, for the people that want it, I want to see that. Yeah, I just want to see a return to more classics. Like, bring me the games that we haven't seen in forever. There needs to be a Metroid. We've already had Zelda, but honestly, I want another Zelda, just because Breath of the Wild was believed to be on the Wii U for so long, and like people were saying, it wasn't a game meant for the Switch specifically. It was more of like a placeholder. So I want to see a new Zelda for the Switch. I want a Metroid. I know Earthbound 3 is coming out, but come on, let's just push the button. Let's push the envelopes and let's get Earthbound 4. That would be interesting. I want, you know, a new Pikmin. I want to see. Obviously, I'm not asking for a Game & Watch game because that'd be weird. But I do want to see Mr. Game & Watch. I want to see Ice Climbers. I want to see a Kid Icarus. I want to see daring things that we haven't seen in a while. I want Nintendo to be risky with this console. Like, I want them to start pushing boundaries and try something new and definitely daring. Like, just step out of their comfort zone. Yes, I want Mario. Yes, I want Zelda. Yes, I want Kirby and all the other stuff. But I want them to also try something new.
Wow, you're really filling up Nintendo's plate there.
Heck, I'll take another Wonderful 101 too. Like, I know people didn't really like that game, but you know, I wouldn't mind a sequel or something different about it.
For me, there's not like a whole lot that I would want. What I really want is a new Mario Golf. because Mario Golf has always been like my favorite Mario sports game, and the last one we had was World Tour on 3DS, and before that was on like GameCube. So like if you wanted a TV experience with Mario Golf, we've had to play on the GameCube for this long. And there was also, I guess, the Mario Sports thing
Mix
on 3D. Was it Mario Sports Mix? No, that was for the Wii. Mario Sports Superstars for the 3DS. It was like a sports compilation. It had golf in it, but as far as I can tell, it's a little bit watered down. So yeah, I want a Mario Golf on the Switch, brand new Mario Golf. Heck, even bring back some old courses. And also, Smash Bros, obviously.
Yeah,
but I don't know, like, if they're going to... I don't know if it's going to be, like, a Smash Bros 4 Deluxe. So, like, I don't know if they're going to port over the Wii U Smash Bros. Or if they're going to bring, like, a whole brand new Smash Bros.
No, it better be brand... Did we talk about this before? I don't remember if we did, but... I don't think they can port it because they'd have to re-go through all those licensing with Pac-Man and Mega Man and Cloud and Ryu and all. They'd have to re-license all those characters. So I seriously don't think Nintendo's going to take the time to go back for that.
I wasn't actually too big on the third-party characters, at least most of them.
I think they had like 8, didn't they?
They had quite a few, yeah. I don't know how many exactly, but... Either way is fine with me. But I think they should bring back Ice Climbers, even though I don't really play Ice Climbers. It was kind of crappy of them to leave them out. And fix Zelda. She's broken, like, in not a good way.
Like, she needs to be buffed?
Yeah, she's been, like, low tier for a long time, and I've always enjoyed playing as Zelda. And... They've buffed her, like, every update on the Wii U, she got buffed, and she's still kind of falling behind. But, like, my main, like, a big gripe I had was, like screwed up her warp on the Wii U. Because when you would warp, you would, like, stick to platforms. So it was, like, easy to get around. Like, if you went up to a platform, you would land on that platform. If you were in the air and you went down, you would land on the ground. Like, the way it is now, she, like, slips around. Like, if I died so many times when I first started playing on the Wii U, because I would be in the air, I would teleport, go down, expecting to stick to the ground, but instead she, like, slips off, and I get launched off the edge. And, like, I thought it was a bug when I first saw it. I was like, oh, this isn't right. Like, I sent a bug report to Nintendo. I'd be like, you need to fix this. And they just never did, so maybe it was intentional.
Wow. Yeah, I bet it was for them.
So yeah, fix that.
I will say no more Mario characters in Smash, please. I'm pretty sure they take up the whole top row or something.
Oh no, we'll get more Fire Emblem characters.
that is also bad because we got overflowed with Fire Emblem characters last time.
With that said, I like all of the Fire Emblem characters in Smash Bros.
Yeah, I mean, I don't mind them, but, Fire Emblem has, like, a billion jillion characters, so let's not put as many of them as we can into the game. Let's do some more...
They're going to run out of IPs eventually, so there's probably going to be multiple franchises with a lot of characters.
I mean, Wonderful 101 is a brand new IP. I know people want Splatoon.
Oh, they're probably going to add the Inklings to a new Smash Bros. At this point.
They could add the Inklings. I want them to add Wonderful 101. I'm trying to think what other Nintendo IPs. I don't think... Hey, Bomberman for Smash for the Switch, but that's another topic altogether.
That's Konami, right?
I don't know, honestly.
I really used to want Bomberman in Smash Bros. I think he would be a pretty good fit. Yeah. Especially now that they made a new Bomberman that I haven't played yet because it's on the Switch, but it looks fun.
Yeah, I hear you. But yeah, there's just so much they can do. I want a brand new Smash for the Switch. You create a new Smash where it's just it uses all the capabilities of the Switch, and it shows off what the Switch can do. As for new characters, I guess you could stick more Earthbound characters in. I don't know. Are they going to take out the Miis? Did anyone really like the Miis? I know I use the Miis for fun, but I don't think they're really.
I have no idea what they're gonna do with the Miis. I imagine they would leave them in.
Mm-hmm. And oh, here's another thing. Don't give me Mii costumes and tell me you're giving me a character. And please stop with the Mario and Link and Samus Mii costumes. Like, they're already in the game. Why do we need Mii
I guess
costumes?
some people like those, but yeah, I always thought it was weird to have like a costume of a character that's already there.
In the game.
I think
Yeah.
because I think that started on Mario Tennis for 3DS. I was like, I could dress my Mii up like Mario or Yoshi, or I could just play as Mario or Yoshi. But I mean,
Yeah.
people like it, I guess. So
It was on Mario Kart too. Like, why do I need a Mario Kart Mii when I could pick literally 4 other Mario characters? It made no sense to me.
yeah, I don't get it either.
Yeah, so many expectations for the Switch. I have so many expectations for Nintendo. Like, they need to do something daring and not just play it safe with this console. They need to shock the fans and give the fans what they want, but just be daring. That's all I got to say. Is with the Switch, push the boundaries.
All right, so it sounds like you got quite a few expectations for Nintendo, and I've only got a few myself, but looking forward to what they put out. And I guess that wraps it up for now, so we'll catch you next time. And subscribe and like if you liked. And yeah, see you next time.
Later.